Welcome to the Partially Cooked podcast. For anybody watching the show for the very first time, what this show is every month we have on 5 comedians. We interview them, try to get to know about their personal lives, really figure out who they are, and then we use that information once a month at Birdie's Cabaret here in North Little Rock for a live roast battle. These comics will be competing for a wrestling belt. It's a lot of fun, and today we have a very special guest, Forrest Bopp.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Looking forward to it.
We've actually never met you, Forrest. You actually came to us by recommendation from Sean and Katie.
Yes, that is what I've heard. This is first time talking not over Instagram DMs.
Yeah. How long have you been doing stand-up?
A few years, a little bit over 3 years.
Nice. In the past 3 years that you've been doing stand-up, what do you think the weirdest gig you've ever gotten has been?
That's a good question. There's been quite a few. I would say the weirdest one I ever did was me and my friend Caleb, who's another comedian here in Nashville. He somehow got us hooked up with some show that he thought was a tractor pull, that we were opening up a tractor pull competition. This is in like deep Kentucky. Like once you go off the interstate, you drive 2 more hours. And it was actually a tractor pull competition. Reward show at some type of country club in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. And when we got there, the person was like, hey, just so you know, the people don't know comedy is going to happen. And also you need to be clean, and it starts in 5 minutes. So it was a horrible nightmare scenario. Also, it lined up every single joke I had coincided with something bad that had happened in that town. Like I had 5 minutes on how drinking and driving is fun, and a teenager had died in a drunk driving accident like a week earlier in that town.
So that didn't go well.
No, it was one of the worst bombs I've ever had in my entire life, and it was like, I don't even know where the hell I am right now. I don't even understand how I got to this place. It was so strange.
Dude, it's always the worst when you show up at a show and you're like about to go on stage and they're like, by the way, this is a clean show.
Right.
It's like,
I know.
Why did you not specify this when you booked the damn show?
And
I know. And then it was one of those things where it's like, people who are normal have a different idea of clean. She's like, you can say hell or dang it if you want. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's clean. That's not, I'm worried about the cum jokes, not saying dang it.
Yeah.
you mentioned Bear didn't hear, but you said they didn't know it was a comedy show?
No, people just don't know. Where she goes, I thought it'd be a fun surprise. So this was at the end of, they had been sitting there for an hour giving each other out awards for their best tractors. I really don't understand what it was. Nice. And then they're like, are you ready for another hour of comedy that you didn't know was happening?
Oh, no.
It was hell. Yeah.
How long was your set?
I was supposed to do 15. I would be shocked if I made it to 10.
Yeah.
It was brutal. I didn't get one chuckle.
Oh, man.
No.
Was this at night or was this during the day?
No, it was at night. It was 7 p.m. on a Saturday, something like that. So it was comedy time, at least.
Yeah, man, it's always bad when you show up at you have a set at 2:00 in the afternoon, find out it's got to be a clean show. Nobody knew the show was happening. Everybody's upset.
Yeah, it feels very strange. Some people work for I've opened up for Aaron Weber before, and he's clean, and he'll do Sunday 4 p.m. shows that will be packed out, and they somehow are in the mood to laugh at that time.
Aaron's great. He's come through Little Rock a few times.
Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of the last question just about stand-up, and then we're going to move on into other work experience. Who is the most influential comic to you personally?
That is a very good question. I would say my favorite comedian would be Louis C.K. I think that's everybody's favorite comedian. But most influential to me personally would probably be 2 people. It'd be John Hickok and Shane Bianchi. I don't know if you've ever heard of either one of those guys.
I haven't, no.
Yeah, so I started during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I started comedy. And there was one open mic here, and they both ran it on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they were so mean. They were so mean. But at the same time, they helped us out a lot and kind of like helped me and kind of our crew. Sean was a little bit a part of that as well. Get started and kind of like gave us the do's and don'ts in comedy and kind of told us how to navigate this world. Yeah. So I would say both those guys.
That's cool.
When you start doing stand-up, like you need an encouraging environment. Especially when you're new, because it's scary and everybody has stage fright, and so you need like people patting you on the back and like encouraging you and keeping you coming back. But you also need an asshole. You also need somebody that's like, hey, do this, don't do this, you suck, you need to get better.
Right.
Like you need a little edge to your scene, or you just won't grow.
Right. You need someone that's not going to say good set every time.
Right. Like when they do tell you good set, you're like, oh, that must have been good, because I never hear from them.
There you go. That's a very important person in your comedy life.
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest things we've been missing is all the bullies have moved away. So
yeah,
everyone's too nice here to the new people.
Well, that's why we got the roast battle, so we can bring the bullying back.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So, Forrest, outside of comedy, what do you do that pays the bills?
I have had many jobs in my day, but what I've been doing for the most part is tech sales. I've always done like remote sales jobs.
Okay.
So it is extremely boring and not fun, but it is pretty easy and barely interferes with comedy at all. So it's a good gig.
So you just cold calling people trying to sell them technology?
A lot of the time. I mean, I've had a few different jobs, so it's not always that, but I have done tons and tons of that before.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Forrest. Have you heard of the internet? Because I have a product for you. Okay. What do you think is the worst job that you've ever been fired from or quit?
So I actually, when I was in college, I worked at a horse farm for only 4 days. Okay. Because, one, they were like, yeah, this is just going to be something at nights. And then I went to Auburn. You know, you guys from the South, too, you know how big college football is.
Yeah.
Right before I started, he goes, I mean, you're going to have to work during Auburn football games sometime. So I was planning on quitting anyway.
Yeah.
Before I even got there, once I knew that. But I was going to work it for a couple of months because this was a summer. But I get there, and they're just like, yeah, just go get in the stable with the horse and start picking shit up. And I'm like, you mean once it's out? And they go, no, go stand behind it and start picking shit up. I'm like,
I've never cleaned stalls with the horse in it. Yeah. I grew up on a horse ranch, and we always moved the horses out when we cleaned the stalls. That's weird.
I know. It was insane. I'm like, they just had zero value for my life whatsoever. And when I quit, I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm not too really comfortable with the horses and standing right behind them. And she literally was like, you'll get used to it. Do you need a little bit more money? I was like, it's not that. I promise you. It's that I don't want to get clobbered in the head by a 1,000-pound Mustang.
Yeah. One of the crazy things, I don't know how it was at that horse farm. Did they have a refrigerator full of horse cum?
I never saw it, but I think that they did.
Yeah.
That wasn't what it was for, but I think it was around.
Yeah. When my grandfather passed away, I inherited his horse ranch, and that was one of the things I inherited was a refrigerator full of horse cum, and I had no idea what to do with it.
It's worth a lot of money, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, but like, when you look like me, I can't just like go on Facebook Marketplace like, hey, you want to buy some horse cum?
You just got to lie and tell people it's Seabiscuits cum.
Yeah.
Did you discover this on your own, or did you know that there was a refrigerator on the property?
So I knew what that was, but I had forgotten about it because I had moved away. And then I'm out there, I'm cleaning out the barn, and I'm going through stuff, and then I find it, and I noticed that it's still plugged in, and I'm like, there's no way this thing still has cum in it, like. And then I open it up. No, it's a refrigerator packed to the gills with fucking horse cum.
Is it like in jars?
It's in like these little, I mean, they're kind of like jars, but they're like, it's a special, it's made for horse cum. Like they got their own packaging for it. Yeah.
Damn, like the TGRI ooze thing on Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's for inseminating, obviously.
It's a cum canister.
Yeah.
This is wow.
And I should have held on to it. I should have pranked my friends with it. I should have sold it as merch. I don't know.
That would have been a crazy set with a bet. You know, I'm sure something could have been made with that. Anyway, back to Forrest, our guest.
My bad. Went off on a tangent there.
Oh, dude, I was
imagining like a ramekin of ranch, but cum and just a refrigerator. I actually throw on some fries one night when you're drunk.
Yeah, that's the wrong refrigerator to be drunk and be like, oh, I'm hungry. Let me get a snack.
It's salty,
definitely
but
is.
tastes like grass.
Well, it has like a salty, like a more of a vinegar taste to it, really.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm just playing. I don't fucking know.
Okay, so speaking of weird stories like this, have you ever worked with a weird coworker, and who was it? Who was the weirdest coworker you've ever worked with?
That's a good question. Let me think. One of the tech places I actually worked at was Dell. There's a Dell office here in Nashville,
Okay.
and there were some fucking freaks at that place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and there's a guy who, I mean, I could literally send you his Instagram. I look at it all the time because he's so insane. And he I don't know what he doesn't like have a niche of what he does on Instagram. Half of it will be like sketches. Some of them will be really sad stuff. He'll be like pretend to be a blue worker, like a blue collar guy who shoots himself. And then he also is like fat, but will post thirst traps of him in like leather pants. And
Okay.
he was so weird. He made me so uncomfortable. And he was like the guy who, like, for Halloween, he dressed up, like, he got up at like 4 a.m. to put on the most elaborate drag costume and makeup for hours just to call people in for the rest of the day. He freaked me out. You know, when somebody has a vibe of like, so that guy's weird, but like, it's whatever. We all know weird. Every comedian's weird. This was a weird, like, I would be scared to fall asleep around him weird. Just the rapiest energy I've ever felt in my life.
What is it about Dell that brings out the freaks?
I don't know. I didn't really I've never put a connection between.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. I worked at a pizza place in Conway, and there was a Dell office, and they would come by the like dozens to eat salad and pizza, and they were always pretty chill.
Yeah. They didn't have orgy energy or anything like that.
Ah, man, now that you say that, they did.
It is a fuck fest there for sure.
Okay,
Good to know.
dude, you're getting a Dell.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so last question about your job. So, what is the most ridiculous thing a boss has ever asked you to do, besides standing behind a horse and cleaning up its shit?
I mean, that's probably number one. I'm trying to, I guess, they're like, can you taste this horse cum for me? Most ridiculous thing. I mean, this isn't as funny as I know we're trying to be right now, but one of the sales companies I worked for, they were trying to get me to like work through my granddad's funeral. Because it's one of those things where you're sick and we knew he was dying. Mm-hmm. And I went down there a couple days before he died and then was trying to take off again for the funeral. And she was like, well, you technically already got your bereavement days. So is there any way you could just like be sending emails like at the funeral? It was crazy what she asked. She was an insane lady. She ended up getting fired, but that was one of the weirdest things a boss has ever asked me.
You just keep your Bluetooth on and answer the calls.
Just keep that Slack notification up. I don't think they would mind.
Have a Zoom call and you're just in tears with your entire family.
I know it was at Arlington too. It's like, no, I can't look at the flyover for this Marine.
Forrest, how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Okay. You're almost out of your 20s. What do you think the dumbest thing you've done in your 20s so far has been?
Probably try to be a comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody would say that. What's the dumbest thing I've done in my 20s? That's a good question. I mean, just really in my early 20s, just let it fly unprotected with just pigs of women. I mean, the fact that I came out unscathed is nothing short of a miracle.
Just slinging it all around Auburn, huh?
Yeah. Just not to the top tier either.
Yeah, just whoever will take it.
Pretty much for a while there. And the fact that nothing ever happened is nothing short of a miracle.
What do you think the dumbest purchase you've ever made has been?
That's interesting. I'm really not. I don't buy things at all. I don't know if I've ever purchased one article of clothing in my life. So it would probably be like will get like caught up in the mood of something, and I'll be like, I'll have six $20 beers at this baseball game, even though there's only $200 in my account right now.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah. So mine is more like probably alcohol, to be honest. Just probably the amount I've spent on beer in places where it was such a retarded price is some of the most regret I've ever woken up with in my life the next morning.
Yeah, when you wake up and you see your bank account and you're like, wait, I drank how much?
Yeah.
I could have bought a liquor store for the amount I paid for this.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't look at it. I don't look at it, especially when we go to like Disney. Oh my God, dude.
You throw them back at Disney?
Dude, you drink around the world at Disney. There's the Epcot has the World Showcase, and you're like supposed to get a drink at every spot, and there's 12 different locations.
Okay.
And so I start at Mexico like an idiot.
Start with tequila.
Like a rookie. And dude, by Canada, I'm not of this world anymore. I'm like, what is planet Earth? I've seen every place, and I don't live here anymore.
Is each drink there like something specific to that location? Okay.
Right, yeah, like it's usually a tequila, and then you go to, I can't remember the next location, but I want to say it's like the Alps, or like it's like Germany kind of, and so you get like a Nordic beer, you get like a Viking beer.
Yeah.
I do a lot of beer, and they're like $15 to $20 each.
Yeah.
Times
that's
12.
cool.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's good. It's a fun time.
When I was in LA, they had at the Comedy Store, they had beers for $16, and they were PBRs.
Oh my God.
I was so mad.
Oh man.
It's like, I am not paying $16 for a fucking PBR.
Dude,
You are out of your mind.
That'll
That's
cure
insane.
your alcoholism real fast.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Gosh. All right. So, Forrest, the next questions are going to be a little crazy, a little bit weird about politics. So, what is your most bigoted opinion, would you say?
My most bigoted opinion. I would say that the women are terrible drivers. That they just actually are.
That's a fair opinion to have. I
And
believe
even the ones that are bad drivers will just be like, I'm just going to watch TikTok while I'm weaving in and out of traffic at 5 p.m.
that's the definition of a bad driver there, Forrest.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
So, yeah, they're terrible drivers.
Anytime I get yelled at or flipped off on the road or have somebody roll their window down and try to cuss me out, it's always a woman. Every single time. I have never had a man like, pull the fuck over. It's always a woman. Every single time.
Trying to fight you.
Yeah, I had it happen here in Little Rock off of Fair Park the other day. We got a comic here in town. He's blind, and I was going to World Services for the Blind to pick him up for a show, and lady was going about 60 in a 35, and I pulled out in front of her, and I mean, I was 400 yards. She was 400 yards away from me when I pulled out, but she was going so fast she had to hit on the brakes, and boy, she was upset that I was in front of her.
Oh no.
She was like, "Learn how to drive."
They have no depth perception.
Yeah, and I just smiled and waved at her, and when you don't get mad back, oh, it pisses them off.
Man.
I'm really good at that. I actually love that if somebody's going crazy on you and you just looking straight forward, they can't take it.
Yeah. All right, this is one of our favorite questions. What is a conspiracy theory that you believe?
All of them. I'm a pretty big conspiracy guy.
Well, what's your favorite conspiracy then?
My favorite, I don't want to, because like JFK is one that I don't even know if anybody doesn't believe that the CIA killed him now.
Yeah.
Epstein, same thing. I mean, I'd say 9/11. I'm pretty sure we had something to do with that.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite one.
A little bit.
If we didn't do it, we allowed it to happen.
That's what I think we allowed it to happen. Also, the way those towers fell looked a little weird to me.
Yeah, a little suspicious.
Well, uniform, how they fell down so perfectly.
Yeah. Also, how the Empire State Building was hit by a plane several years before, and it didn't fall down and burn down.
It's a much smaller plane. I will say that. To play devil's advocate, it was like a 8-man plane.
Well, I'm just saying that plane didn't take out a building.
No, it sure didn't. And it would have been the first time in history and the last time since that a building collapsed due to a structure fire. So
A steel building.
A steel building that was specifically designed to withstand the impact of a large jet engine, according to the architect of the two towers. There's a documentary done in like the 70s or 60s, wherever. It was like right before they were opening the towers, and he's like walking through showing the core columns. He's like, these are the core columns. These are so, they go so far into the ground too. Like these towers could withstand the impact of a blankety blank jet engine. It was like almost and it was like, cool. All right, neat.
Yeah, jet fuel definitely will not melt these columns here.
No, they won't, but thermite will. Anyway, Forrest, I agree with you. This is one of my favorite conspiracy theories of all time, and I'm sure we're on a list here.
Yeah, I think people are starting to believe that. And I mean, it's going to become crazy. People are going to be ones who don't believe conspiracy theories pretty soon.
Right.
Yeah. Basically, if you believe the news, you're retarded.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel.
And, speaking of the news, we like to follow along with politics, or we don't like to, but we have to sometimes. But what is something that the opposite side, whether you lean right or left, what's something that a candidate on the opposite side could promise that would make them want to make you want to vote for them?
Women not being allowed to drive.
Just take it right back to Saudi Arabia.
Back to Saudi. Yes, they have to cover themselves up. Or yeah,
a lot
that or no more foreign wars. I guess one of the two.
That's a good one. I like that one. But there'd be a lot of dudes with DUIs with nowhere to go if women couldn't drive anymore.
That's true. My fiance picks me up quite often.
Oh
yeah. And it's like, what's the point of having a girlfriend if she doesn't drive you around when you're drunk?
Precisely.
And according to Forrest, he's a better drunk driver than her sober.
That's true. Well, I just look at the road. That's all it takes.
Do you have any DUIs in the Deweys in the back?
I do not have any Deweys. I got a PI when I was 18 because I was actually still in high school, but I was visiting Auburn, and me and my friend got lost and just sat down against the building and fell asleep.
Damn.
Because normally when you think of PI, you think of people getting in fights, yelling slurs, but we were just sitting there and we got thrown in the drunk tank for 8 hours.
For sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know why they didn't just take me home.
It's an asshole cop.
Yeah.
Just an innocent white child.
When you said PI, I thought you meant private investigator. I was like, I got PI'd one time. Like someone hired a PI to follow you around. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and see that I was swerving while I was driving.
Okay, so this is the last politics question. If you could heckle any politician from history or now, who would it be and what would you say?
That's a good question. Probably, I think it'd be fun to do a reverse heckle. Be like on the stage while Abraham Lincoln's up in the crowd. Be like, that hat looks fucking stupid.
Do some crowd work on Abe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
who told you to shave just that part? You look so bad, and I'm pretty sure you're gay.
I'm really glad you're at the theater tonight, though.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
All right, we're going to move on to questions about dating and relationships. Are you currently in a relationship?
I am, yes.
How long have y'all been together?
About 5 months.
Nice. Okay. Fresh love. What is the weirdest or most regrettable message you've ever sent somebody that you're attracted to?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of something. I know I've sent some cringy fucking stuff, especially when I was younger.
Yeah. We all have.
Yeah, probably like post a breakup that I shouldn't even have been that upset about because we didn't even date that long. Just being like, oh God, just saying stuff. It's not even nothing that funny, but just being like, I miss you so much. I don't understand why you're doing this. And then even just, you just need like a day and then you read it and you're like, oh my God, why did I send that? So probably just like actually showing how sad I was, which is the lamest thing that you can do.
Yeah.
With somebody that I only dated like 6 months and just was so clearly distraught.
You're the love of my life. How could you do this?
Yeah. I mean, turn that a notch down and then yes.
Yeah. We've all been there, man.
Can I say my most regrettable message? I think I told you this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was sending it to my wife. I was like, I was trying to send it to my wife, but I was very drunk, and I said, "I wish you'd do your OnlyFans. I wish you'd do OnlyFans." And I sent it to the owner of the Looney Bin, Wayne Iber.
Yeah, he sent it to the owner of the comedy club.
Very bad.
Which, surprisingly, he has a very successful OnlyFans now. So,
Yeah, dude.
thanks to you, Seth.
Yeah, I should get a cut.
That's a big business.
Sorry.
Forrest, what is the worst gift you've ever given to a significant other?
That's a good question. Not much of a gift giver, if I'm being honest. I've definitely forgotten to give some gifts before.
Yeah.
I would say probably the worst gift. Let me think. I've given things that are very clearly just for me, and the girl will know that. Be like, here's a cookbook and tickets to an Auburn football game.
Wow.
So that's probably the worst. It's stuff like it. It's just so obviously like, here's a free blowjob pass and a don't talk to me for one night pass.
Oh, so it's a pass for her to give you a blowjob?
Yes, and then not talk to me after.
Happy birthday, babe.
Yeah, happy birthday. No, I'm kidding on that one, but I did actually give my girlfriend a cookbook.
That's hilarious.
I was like, I want you to make me cookies every fucking day.
Damn, she didn't know how to make cookies?
She did. I mean, this is pretty complicated stuff here, Bear.
Okay.
It's not just chocolate chip. It's chocolate cheesecake swirls and stuff.
I don't know that I've ever met a woman from the South that didn't know how to make cookies.
Yeah.
Like, did her grandma just not love her?
I mean, she did. I wanted her to kick it up a notch. She made some pretty good cookies, and I said, let's take this to the big leagues.
Oh, okay. So you're tired of these regular average cookies. You want cream of the crop.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Some Deluxe.
And our final relationship question, what is the biggest red flag you've ever ignored in a relationship?
I would say like screaming, crying fits, and them just pretending like they're okay 10 minutes later. Like, that's normal, right? That's normal for a girl to be banging her head against the wall, screaming, throwing stuff, and they'd be like, haha, I was kidding. And then that happening once a week.
Whoa, that is psychotic.
It was. She was out of her mind.
Sounds like undiagnosed bipolar disorder. But
Yeah. He just keep being like, yeah, he's had a tough day.
got no patience for mental illness here.
Yeah.
Fuck out.
I don't anymore. I served my time.
Okay, fair.
Now you're protecting your peace.
All
Yeah.
right. So we're going to move on to some stuff about your family. Forrest, what's the most embarrassing thing your parents have ever caught you doing? Besides stand-up.
Besides stand-up is number one. I would say the most embarrassing thing, they never walked in on me beating off, I don't think.
Wow.
You're
a magician.
Which is impressive. I had a big family too, so I became a very good covert masturbator.
Yeah. I'm very proud to have never been caught as well. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. You guys need to.
I mean, there might be some times where they knew what was going on. It's like, I don't think you need to be in the shower for 90 minutes, but.
Right. I mean, they may have been able to infer it, but they didn't walk in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is so gross. When I was younger, which is weird, so I'm like such a clean freak germaphobe now, but I was not when I was younger, and I would just pick my nose in my bed and then flick it against the side of the wall. We moved when I was a kid. I mean, and it looked like I was working on an art project for about a year, and they were like,
Wow.
you are disgusting, and you are never going to have a girlfriend for the rest of your life. And you're like,
So it was like behind the bed and they didn't see it till you moved the bed?
yes, exactly. And they're like, you are a disgusting. They didn't hold back at all. They were like, you are disgusting. No one will ever love you.
Because when you're a kid, like, the bed is like a permanent fixture. Like, this has been here my whole life. It's never going to be moved.
That was the same. When you're like 10, there's no difference between that and like the foundation of the house.
Right.
Dude, that's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah, it was rough.
I worked with a guy at AT&T, and there was a back room, and he would stand in the doorway all the time, and apparently he was picking his nose and he would wipe it on the door, like the wall right by the door, and like I saw him do it one time, and then I looked, and then dude, it was like clearly years of him doing this, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I need a transfer.
Make me nauseous.
I'm out of here, boys. It was rough.
Was that a manager?
Yeah, he was the manager of the AT&T.
See, you can't let your subordinates see that, because then you will lose all respect. Because the second you try, oh, what? You're not going to show up to work on time today? It's like, why don't you go wipe boogers on the wall, you fucking weirdo?
That's brutal.
Precisely.
Forrest, what is the biggest secret that you've ever kept from your parents?
The biggest secret I kept from my parents. God, that's a good question. Actually hid that I was doing stand-up for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was doing it. I thought I'd been doing it for like 6 months.
I was an idiot. I did one open mic and dropped out of college and told my parents, I'm a stand-up comedian. They're like,
Gotta be what you should do.
Yeah, they're like, you're an idiot.
No, I was so embarrassed. I'm still so embarrassed that I do stand-up, even though it's my favorite thing in the world and it's all I want to do. I still understand that it is very gay, and everybody should be humiliated that wants to do this. So I'm for real. I mean, they had no idea. They didn't see me for the first time until like a couple months ago.
Yeah, man. I know when I talk to a real man that has a real man job, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a plumber, or I'm an electrician, or I work on the oil fields."
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? It's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And on the way to being a full-time comedian, those jobs that you have on the side are so gay, which, I'm still doing.
Right.
Like, I'm a DoorDash waiter.
Yeah.
And it's like something that's heard pussy, pussy, pussy.
Oh, DoorDash waiter. Oh, telling people that you're a waiter when you're really doing DoorDash. That's smart. I've never heard that before.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, because waiter gets more respect than DoorDash.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I think so too.
Like in the hierarchy of jobs, like I feel like a waiter is higher on the list because you have a place of employment.
That's true.
Yeah, you have something to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
DoorDash is like a wasteland. It's a wasteland. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Forrest, what do you think is the silliest thing you inherited from your parents?
The silliest?
Yes, the silliest or weirdest, however you want to interpret that.
That's a good question. The silliest. My dad is very funny. I definitely would say I got my being funny from him. I'm trying to think of something silly about them. They're like both light-hearted people, but also like I would not describe either one of them as super silly. Probably my affinity for horrible dad jokes, I would say, would be the silliest thing.
Yeah.
And my dad, he will purposely try to make people uncomfortable with how bad his dad jokes are, and I'll be the only person that's laughing in a group of people.
Do you have an example that comes to mind of one of those jokes?
I'm trying to think of the worst one. God, he had one recently I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but
it's okay.
All the typicals. I'm cold. Hey, cold. How are you? All that stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now. I will try to think of it because I know he had one that was egregious that made my whole family angry except me recently. I can't remember what it was right now.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the weirdest rule in your house growing up?
Oh, that's a good one. See, my parents are very Christian, and they were a lot, stricter when I was younger. So the weirdest rule.
Don't wipe boogers on the wall.
That will be a rule for my children, too.
Yeah.
No freedom in this house.
Yeah. I would say we were a no SpongeBob family for a while.
What? No SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Was SpongeBob the devil?
It wasn't the devil. It was also, my parents, they didn't know. They had 4 kids, and they would forget about stuff. So they'd say you're not allowed to watch it, then forget what it was a week later.
Yeah.
But SpongeBob was the relevant one that everybody knew. And they would be like, you guys are gross, and it's because of SpongeBob, so no SpongeBob.
Man, I can't imagine. What was in SpongeBob? I mean, there's some adult jokes in SpongeBob, but if you're a kid, it goes right over your head.
Is SpongeBob one of those? I didn't watch a lot of SpongeBob, but is it one of those that like kind of zooms in and has like really detailed pictures, kind of like Ren and Stimpy used to do?
No.
Yeah.
They do that?
Yeah, they do that sometimes. I mean, for all, my parents could have walked in on like there's some overtly sexual stuff in SpongeBob, and they could have caught that. It also didn't last forever. You know, it's not like I couldn't watch it when I was 13, but
yeah,
when we were there was a few years that we were SpongeBob free household, and my friends hated that.
Interesting. All right. I think that's it for family stuff.
All right, now we're going to move into personal questions. So I know you're a big fan of Auburn football, but what are you like the biggest diehard fan? It doesn't have to be a sport. It can be a movie, a TV show, anime, football. Like, what are you the biggest fan of?
It's kind of hacky to say on here, but I'm becoming less of it now that it's becoming more of a job, but probably comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hardcore obsessed for a while, just podcasts, comedy albums all day, every day. There was a while where I was barely listening to music because I was listening to so much stand-up. How I really got into stand-up was on Spotify, like Spotify Radio. The few comedians I knew when I was a kid, I would just put them on radio and listen to them for like 6 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I'm so totally obsessed with it.
Who was your favorite?
Back then, it kind of changed because there were people who were like, I remember listening to Bill Burr when I was younger, and I was like, I don't understand why this guy's so angry about. I'd have a couple bad things happen to me first. I really and still do love Daniel Tosh. When I was like 14, he was my guy.
Yeah, Tosh is very popular. Tosh is great. Tosh is really, really funny. And
he still is too.
And kind of underrated. Like a lot of people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think comics more like his comedy than everyone else knows him for Tosh.0 and maybe his podcast even, but comics know his stand-up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and Auburn football too.
Yeah, obviously. Forrest, what is your guilty pleasure? What is something that you know is bad for you, but you still love and do it anyway?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, everybody could say, getting drunk is fun. Probably not the best for you. I would say something I like to do is just every once in a while. I used to be a lot fatter than I am, but just really like starve myself all day and then plan out an enormous meal for that night when I get home and be done with everything I'm done with.
That's what I do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I still do it sometimes, but that's like really prepare for it and be like, this whole day is about how I'm going to eat until I can't breathe tonight. I have a show picked out. I may be like, I already have an edible I'm going to take. Like, I'm going to make this is going to be a big night for me.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting. He says.
Which works if you have self-control intermittently, but I do not. So when it's time to eat, I could just go ballistic.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. What is the pettiest thing you've ever done to get revenge on someone?
Oh, that's good. See, there are things where it's like, I don't know if this is petty as much as like, I will not let somebody tell me what to do. So like, I have purposely inconvenienced myself just to, like, I was at a friend's house once and I was spending the night on his couch and he kept being like, hey, when are you going to take your shoes off? Just relax, take your shoes off. So I like put my jacket back on and my shoes and slept the whole night in my shoes. Just so that I could see in the morning. Like, he's not going to tell me what to do. I'm trying to think of something petty that I've done.
My favorite answer to this question so far, we had a comment from Northwest Arkansas that when she moved out of her apartment, she hid potatoes all over, like in the vents, in the closets, in random places so that they would start like rotting and festering and get those fruit flies and all over the place. And she hated her roommate and just left potatoes everywhere. Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I actually kind of did a similar thing with a guy that I left. I didn't put potatoes in the thing, but he basically, like, he owned the house and I was just kind of staying there. He was like a friend of a friend. I didn't know him that well.
Mm-hmm.
And just on a dime, he was like, you need to be gone in 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
And so before I left, as I was moving out, I like put on shoes that were completely covered in mud. And he wasn't there when I was moving out, so I just tracked mud all through the house, all up and down the stairs. It looked like I just threw buckets of mud on the stairs. No, you actually jogged my memory that I did a similar thing.
I bet he still talks about that too. I bet he's like, that motherfucker.
I bet he did. He tried to be like, we might need a cleaning fee. I was like, good luck with that cleaning fee.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Boo. Boo. Forrest, what is your most irrational fear?
Ooh, that's a good one. I could be a little bit of a hypochondriac. I don't know how irrational that is.
Yeah.
People do get cancer. Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I grew up going to the beach a lot. Like where I'm from in Alabama is really close to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Florida all the time, and I am like terrified of deep water, and I regularly have nightmares about like falling off of a boat in the middle of the night in the ocean.
Really?
Like I would say once a month for, well, I guess we're coming up on probably 20 years of me having a dream about like being pushed off a cruise ship or something.
So you're not a big cruise guy? Not.
I actually kind of enjoy them.
Yeah.
Just stay on the boat.
Huh.
Cruises terrify me. Like the ocean itself terrifies the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
so scary.
rational.
I'm a great swimmer, but like
Me too.
the ocean
I love
is.
the beach too.
Yeah, I love the beach. I love swimming. But I like rivers and lakes. Like I'm not really a ocean guy. Once I get about 30 yards into the ocean and my toes I'm just doing that bouncing where I breathe and touch the bottom and breathe. Once I get about that deep in the ocean, I'm good. I'm like, all right, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Hell, last time we were in Florida last year, and a damn shark came up and hit my fiance. Swam right between us and hit her leg. Didn't bite her, just hit her. And it wasn't a big shark, but when I saw it, it might as well have been a freaking great white.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the
when you're in the
ocean's
water.
horrible. It's very scary. I'll sometimes try. The last time I did this, I was like, I'm gonna just swim out, see how far I can get. They said there was like a sandbar or whatever out there, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get to it. And I swam for maybe 5 minutes, turned around, and I was so far from the shore, and I started panicking, and I was like, oh, this is it, and I just like started swimming back as hard as I could. Like you get pushed back, but man, I was like, nope. I thought I wasn't afraid of the ocean. I realized I am definitely afraid.
And learning that aliens are in the ocean, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, they're there.
I'm good.
They're there, and it's popped up a lot more. Like at the beach that we always go to with my family. They were there not that long ago, and there's all these like saltwater crocs around.
What?
In like the panhandle. Yes. My parents took a video. It was in the water where they were in the water and they ran out. And it was just like kind of floating around, like right up to the shore.
In Florida?
Yeah, like Destin.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
fuck all
like
that.
a week ago. Yeah.
Oh, dude, no. Saltwater crocs are so damn scary. Crocodiles are so scary.
Yeah, they're super.
Obviously.
They're much more aggressive than gators.
Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't know that. I lived in Florida in the Tampa kind of area till I was like 9, and gators. I didn't know crocs though. Damn, dude.
Apparently, it's a bit of a newer phenomenon that they've been seen a lot more and a lot more.
Yes.
Where are they coming from?
The Gulf of America.
I don't know. I should look into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I'm supposed to go to Florida in like a couple weeks, and this has got me second guessing it.
I'm going right where they saw that crocodile.
Forrest, what is a movie that you absolutely love that most people hate?
A movie I love so much, I've showed so many people, and they're always like, this is boring as fuck, is Place Beyond the Pines. Have you ever seen that before?
No. Who's in that?
It's like
so boring.
What's that?
I said it sounds so.
It sounds like a nursing home.
Yeah.
It does sound gay. But it's basically like a 3-part movie, and Bradley Cooper and Ryan Gosling are the main characters.
Okay.
And it like goes through like this guy who was like a criminal, ended up dying, and then his kid grew up to be a piece of shit, and like the cop that shot the criminal, his son ended up being the criminal's son's friend and then bullied him and blah blah blah. But it's a movie I will get so excited to show people, and they'll just be like, can we watch something else halfway through?
Man, that hurts.
That does hurt.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts when somebody is like goes to the bathroom during the movie that you're showing them. Like, you don't need to pause it. It feels like they're plunging a knife into your stomach.
Yeah.
That is right.
Or you're showing them a song. You're like, hey, check out this song.
Yes.
And then they start talking. You're like, no, this is the. No, and they're not in it. And you're like, damn it.
They take a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Forrest,
That's just me.
last question. What is your social media handle? Where can people find you?
Pretty much only use Instagram. FBOP83 is the Instagram. Starting to get that going a little more. I just started a podcast. Been posting more stand-up clips too. So
What's your
Nice.
podcast?
Yeah. What's your podcast? What's it about?
It's called Open Podcast. Me and another comedian here in Nashville, Hunter Boris, and we, we like kind of outline every show and talk about different things. But we started having more guests on, and we're going to do more specific topics. So it can cover a wide range of things. We just had Libby Higgins on. Don't know if you know her, Trailer Trash, Tammy's co-host. So obviously with her, we did a big food episode. We're going to start doing some more history stuff. We had Andrew Dorfman on, kind of did a history of comedy clubs, and we have a historian friend. I think we're going to go through the Vietnam War with him. So
That'll be cool.
Still getting our footing, but the main goal is to be funny.
Yeah. Where can we find that podcast? It's called Open Podcast.
Open Podcast. That's all over my Instagram. You can also look up Hunter Boros. His last name is Boros. And yeah, follow that on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
Hunter and Forrest.
I know.
Lord, tell me you're from Tennessee or Alabama. You know what I mean? Jeez.
He's from Tennessee. I'm from Alabama. We get it. So we get mixed up. We don't look anything alike, and people mix us up constantly.
Our first guest is Gunner.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. I'm into it. I love it, dude. Well, thanks for doing the podcast for us. We're so excited to have you at Birdie's on June 27th. It's our first Friday. We're so excited about this. 8 p.m. If you need anything, holler at us, and we love you guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much for us, and really looking forward to seeing your roast battle. It's going to be a fun time.
Yep. Can't wait, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Peace. Dreaming of growing your business in a vibrant location? Welcome to Conway, Arkansas, where opportunity thrives. Nabholz Properties has the perfect space waiting for you. Spacious, versatile, and ready for your vision. Whether your dream is opening a dry cleaner or a comedy club packed with laughs, or even an MMA gym. Whatever your dream, this space can make it a reality. With Nabholz Properties, you'll knock out the competition and maybe even choke out a deal. Lease your future in Conway today with Nabholz Properties, where your business belongs.
Running a business is hard in many ways, especially when it comes to tech. Not only do you have to maintain your business, but you've also got to maintain a network for you and your clients, keeping yourselves and your customers connected to the world. And who knows who can hack into your information, accessing sensitive files? And what do these wires even do? You don't have to do this alone. Call the experts at Professional Computer Services Incorporated. They've got master technicians that can help you navigate the wild world of networking. They can set up security against cyber attacks. And they'll be there to tell you that it's actually not a networking issue. We're being attacked by a foreign entity, and it's the end of the world. Time to bug out. IT doesn't have to be scary. Call Professional Computer Services Incorporated.